Caution is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and today we're doing Brad's top 20... You didn't do an honorable mention, right?
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
top 20 anticipated games of 2019. I've already done mine, go check that out. There's some good games coming out. Kat is here. So we're just here for commentary on...
I don't anticipate games.
I
cannot wait for the third installment of Pandemic Legacy, let me tell you.
I can't. That was, spoilers for that. That was my 20, only because I don't know if it's coming out next year.
Yeah, have they even announced it?
They have announced that they are doing a season 3, but I don't know if they've announced. I don't know if it's in the works. I don't know if they're just like, we will do one. So I just assume 2019 is a long year, so it should come out. It might come out Gen Con. That's probably when they might announce
They'll
it.
announce it here.
So
Probably a month or two.
it was kind of a.
When did they announce the season 2? They probably
I think it did the same thing, and it came out
a couple months, like 3 or 4 months before Gen Con.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they might do the same thing. Anyway, so
Yes.
Brad's list. I'm just here for commentary.
Yep. Alright, so a lot of mine you're going to find out are Kickstarters.
I think every single one of mine was.
Yeah, I
It's
think
just the nature of the beast now.
one of them's not. Yeah,
They're just.
only one of them is not a Kickstarter.
That's crazy.
And there will be 2 of these games that will have caveats because they might be out technically, but like not in places where I buy games.
Oh,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
see.
Like, or they came out in
Like, they
2019,
came out
I
in
haven't gotten them yet.
Oh,
I'll explain
okay.
to them.
Did you
It'll make
do
sense.
expansions?
No.
Okay.
I stayed away from expansions because I talked to the master here and we stayed away from
I did
expansions.
too, because I know Rado did his and he had the role player expansion, and
'Cause
I'm like, well, yeah, that definitely would have been on the list.
I could make a top 20 expansions for
Yeah.
2019 too. It's because there's a lot of good expansions coming out.
Right.
All right, so my number 20 is
I'm on my
a
phone now just to look these up.
Kickstarter game
If I don't.
called Planet Apocalypse.
Okay.
Have you heard of that one?
No.
Okay.
might find
Sandy
more.
Peterson is the guy that made it. That's from Peterson Games, I believe, is his company. He's the guy that made Cthulhu Wars,
Okay.
stuff like that.
I know that.
He's been involved with a lot of different games. But this one has, it's got that typical theme with hell is invading the Earth, and you're trying to protect Earth from hell coming in. And what really caught me with this is, it's. If you've watched a lot of my videos and stuff, is I like to play solo or co-op
Mhm.
games because I don't have any friends. But
Your only friend.
but it's a co-op game, so you're working together with that. The minis are bonkers as far as, they're really big. They're
Yeah.
very detailed. They're really kind of grisly on some of them. And it's just a battle game. It's got. It's got some tower defense mechanisms. It's got the RPG elements where you're powering up your people. I believe it's scenario driven. It was one I was toying around with backing. Again, with a lot of these, I didn't back a lot of these that are on my anticipated list. I'll just get them when they come retail.
Right.
But
It
it's a
looks
pretty
like-
it's a pretty
I remember seeing the cover.
yeah.
Whenever it came out. Yeah, current stretch goals, Great Cthulhu for 500K.
Yeah, and see, it's a finish. It will
Is this not out?
not yet.
Okay.
No. It should
That
be.
board looks weird.
Yeah, it's unique. It's
Huh.
that's why it's
It's like a trail.
That reminds me
Right.
of like old school games. Like,
It does.
Yeah.
It looks like it was like made in the early 90s. Obviously the miniatures and stuff, but those
Right.
weird boards that they made.
That's cool.
Huh.
So anything that has solo, like a co-op game where you can play multi-hands solo and stuff like that, and then it has the cool miniatures.
He was a key designer for the groundbreaking video game Doom.
You're right. Yeah, so he's been in gaming
I would've
video
just backed it just
for a
for
long
that.
time. But
Well,
he's
what do you do?
it got a lot of buzz. I don't know how much it made on its
It made 514,000
Yeah, so-
on a pledge of 100,000.
pretty solid.
In terms of Kickstarters, that's like almost really shitty. Just because you have games like
yeah.
Dark Souls and they have IPs to back them up and they get millions of dollars.
Right. So it is what it is on that part. But I
Yeah.
think just the minis caught me and the tower defense, co-op stuff like that kind of was
That
cool.
looks so weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
I am interested. I feel like I went to look at this while it was on Kickstarter, and something turned me away. But
A lot of these I've had backed, and then the last second I pulled out.
I
know.
do that. I do that a couple times. That's why I don't have kids.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So that was your 20.
Yeah, my 20. All right, 19 is Edge of Darkness. AEG.
Awaken.
No, this was.
Oh, Edge of Darkness.
This is
I was
this is
thinking
a card crafting game, kind of like
Yep.
Mystic Veil and that one Heroes one they did that used the card crafting as well.
Is this also Kickstarter?
Yes,
Okay.
and it hasn't been delivered yet. It's actually I think in
Okay,
the next
AEG.
month or so it'll be delivering.
Yep.
But what's cool is it's got the card crafting like Mystic Veil and all that stuff. It's kind of like got this dark horror theme to it. The art's awesome. It's got worker placement and like they call it shared deck building. I'm not sure what shared deck building is because it's not. This is not a cooperative game,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know how that works. But what you are is you are a guild. You're a competing guild. But you kind of have to work together to protect against the darkness, the evil. But
Okay.
yet you're trying to be the winning guild by making
Yeah.
points and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The cool thing about this game, besides the card crafting gimmick and the art, is there's a cube tower
Okay.
that's in the game, and you drop these cubes down in there, and then what pops out the bottom will determine fights. It's
That's
where you're
cool.
fighting
Okay.
and stuff.
That's cool.
So it kind of takes the Mystic Veil card game and then throws in a bunch of cool stuff and builds upon it with the crazy theme that you have and everything. And
Right.
I think that they teased the art before this. I don't know if you remember, but
I'm looking
on
at it right
Facebook
now.
and different stuff like that, they kept teasing pictures of this
Mhm.
project before it went to Kickstarter, and it was like all these really cool, realistic art and
Yeah,
stuff. But
this artwork looks amazing.
right,
I didn't like Mystic Veil.
I
as
didn't
much.
either.
I thought it was. I mean, the card crafting was cool.
yeah,
It was just that was pretty much it. Which I've heard expansions.
but
do a lot of stuff
but
with
here's
it.
the deal. I think that with that deal, what they've done is they came out. There's that Custom Heroes is the name of the other card crafting game. Custom Heroes and Mystic Veil, I think, were like, okay, we have this mechanic. We're kind of messing around with this, seeing what we can do with it. But now we're gonna roll out this,
Right.
and they used that as part. It wasn't the whole game in this Edge of Darkness. It's got your worker placement. This one even has
Right.
little miniatures you put out
Yeah,
and
I'm
stuff.
seeing
And
that.
so it's just a really cool, unique type thing. I want to try it out again. It was one I didn't end up backing.
And it has solo mode.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what you're gonna see. A lot of these are gonna have solo.
It's like high production value. They have coin holders and stuff like that. And
Right.
They have miniatures for it and an advanced. It's called a threat tower.
Right.
So that's interesting.
So it's cool. And it actually was supposed to be out in 2018,
Mhm.
but it's gotten delayed quite a bit. So
Yeah,
that's why.
it's Kickstarter.
Right. So anyway, that is my 19. It's a pretty cool, neat one. Number 18, I think you had on your list.
Okay.
It's Lockup, a role player
I
tale.
did not have that
Okay,
on my
okay, I
list.
couldn't remember if you had it or not.
Yeah, that's.
It's another one I was gonna back and I didn't.
I pulled out of that one too.
Pretty much what I did back of that was just to get the role player cards because you could just there was a pledge level where you could just get the role player
Yep.
stuff for that game. Role player is one of my favorite games of all time. This is in the same world as that. It's a worker placement game but it takes place like in this prison, and you're a Dragul, I think is how you pronounce it. Is kind of what you are. You're like a captured Dragul, and you're just going around. You're placing your people. You're moving around in groups, and you're getting points by doing things in prison. I don't know a whole ton about
With
this.
elements
It was
of
just-
bluffing, set collection, resource management, and variable scoring to make sure each game feels different.
And I think I was iffy on it because role player is so good,
right.
and I like the world of role player, but there was something about this game. I'm excited to play it just because of the role player aspect to it, and it's the same characters and world I like. There was something that made me not back it. and I couldn't put
I
my
think-
finger on it.
It was probably the same thing I did. It's like, because role player, I mean, there's really not a whole, like, world to it. It's essentially tongue-in-cheek
Yeah,
D&D.
it's
And
coming.
so
though.
I didn't think, but I didn't think this game was going to have enough to it that was going to make it. Why would I play this worker placement over every other worker
Right,
placement?
right, exactly.
And that's what made me back out of it. But it does have, that role player world that it's like, all right, well,
Yeah.
I mean, why not? And I don't think it was that cheap. I mean,
It was like $60, I think, $60.
just for the base game was $40.
And then after shipping, I think you had to pay shipping.
Yeah.
and stuff too. So I did anyway. It was
It barely made its goal though. It's 79,000 on a pledge of 40,000.
Yeah. So I think a lot of other people had the same deal. I want to play it definitely. When
Right.
it comes out, I'm going to play it.
Right.
That's why it's on this list.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't want to pre-order it, more or less.
That's fair. I gotcha.
There wasn't any exclusives either. Really. I mean, there were-
Right? Isn't that
anything
like?
worth-
Isn't that really shitty?
Yeah,
It's
so it's
like
like,
with
I'm not
kids.
gonna even do
Well,
it, I'll just
not. I
buy
was saying
retail.
it's more shitty that we're like. It's not that we want. We don't want the game to be made anymore. We have to have a bunch of just garbage with it.
Right. Well, the thing is with that, and that's why I wait until the last second to pull my
Mhm.
money out, because if it's not going, I want the game to be made,
Right.
but once it's hit that threshold, oh, this game's gonna be made,
Mhm.
but there's nothing special, I'll go ahead and take my money out. That way, I know it's gonna come retail.
Gotcha.
And I'll do it that way, but I keep it in if it's gonna
If it's gonna have a bunch
if
of
it's so
stretch goals.
close. Right.
All right.
Anyway, so yeah, 18 is Lock Up, a role player tale. 17 is gonna surprise you a little bit.
Okay.
It's called Sorcerer City.
Source
From Druid City Games.
Just tell me. I'm on my
This
Kickstarter
is-
app, so just tell me whenever it's.
This is Kickstarter,
is
yeah,
it
for sure.
Kickstarter?
Yeah. So this is a real-time game.
Oh.
Yeah, I know
Oh.
that's something that's kind of crazy, but
Well, I can already tell you're
it's
gonna hate it.
no, but
Oh,
see, this
it's
one I think I
this
will.
is a tableau building, right? Or
Because
the tile
this-
building.
Yes, this is a lot like, to me, the first part of Galaxy Trucker
Oh, okay.
is going to have this same kind of thing. What you do is you start off with these square tiles for your city, right? You start off with a certain number.
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 minutes. There's the beginning phase is 2 minutes of you laying out these deals, and you're building your city. There's
Yep.
certain rules of laying out and different odds and ends, and then you score points.
Yep.
Then you gather all those up. You buy more tiles,
Mm-hmm.
put them into that pile, and you have 2 minutes to build an even bigger city.
Yep.
And you keep going, but every round you go, monsters get chucked into your deal. So
Mhm.
as you put them into a face down pile, so you don't know what's coming up when
Right.
you're building, and they have to be. But
Right.
then when you get a monster, the monster may make you flip everything
Mhm.
and mess with your board.
Right.
So in that style of real time game where it's just a part of it, like the 2 minutes, you build your stuff and then you go through. The art's awesome. It's really bright and colorful.
I
If
would
you
say
got the
art's
Kickstarter
the worst
version,
part about this game.
Well, I
There's
just like
nothing
that.
on these tiles. This makes me think of real-time Carcassonne,
yeah,
like the way the tiles look. Except
Um,
Carcassonne has detail.
the metal coins are cool when you get them. If you look on there, they stack. They're different shapes.
Oh
and they
yeah,
stack
I am
coins
seeing that.
You know, and
That's
everything.
neat.
It's plus I'm beginning to be a really big fan of Druid City Games. They're the ones that did Tidal Blades and stuff. That's the same company.
Oh, okay.
They really do well on their
Production.
production
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So yeah, it was just one that kind of caught my eye. I
Mhm.
figured it would be a fun one to play with my family because my wife loves tile laying, and then
Yeah.
you just toss stuff out. And,
I'd be interested to see if you would still like it after the real time aspect of it.
right, and well, like I said, I still like Galaxy Trucker.
Mm-hmm.
In that first minute or two of Galaxy Trucker,
Yeah.
however long it takes people to build, I don't mind that. It's just when the whole game, like
Okay.
I don't think like Escape, I have no, because you're constantly rolling. I mean, the whole
Right.
game is your real time. This is just
Right.
a part of it.
Have you played Millennium Blades?
No,
Okay.
I have not.
Because that one's half real time and half not real time.
Right.
But
I've thought about it many times, but if it had some sort of a way that you could do it.
Mm-hmm. Space Alert's the same
Solo.
way, where it's
Yeah,
real
I played
time.
Space Alert,
and but that one's really hectic for its
Yes.
real time. But yeah, this one I also saw, and I watched Rado do his run through, and I was
Mhm.
like, this looks not. This
Yeah,
does not look fun.
It is on the list mainly because of the family.
Fair
Because
enough.
I know my wife will like this kind of game. This is the kind of game that she likes.
Fair enough.
I think it's
So
really
that's-
cool. I was flipping down to the bottom, and they've actually listened to feedback, and they've made changes to the tiles. So I think that's nice that they
Oh,
listen. 'cause
The guy that runs Druid City Games, he is on social media all the time.
Yeah,
and
he's
like
very
a fan.
active on the board game group on Facebook.
Yeah, so
You
I
can
can't
just,
remember what his name was,
you can
but
just message him.
Yep.
I think it's Dylan. I literally made that up.
No.
That's
all right. But anyway, Sorcerer City 17. My number 16 was one that you suggested to me
Ooh.
when it hit Kickstarter.
Oh, okay.
I didn't end up getting it. I'm going to get it. I have it pre-ordered now.
Is it Tainted Grail?
No.
Oh shit!
It's an only solo game.
Unbroken?
Yes.
Okay.
Unbroken. It's strictly solo. I didn't back it on Kickstarter. There wasn't anything exclusive on it, so I just pre-ordered it from the company. But pretty much what it is, the theme of it is, like you and a bunch of your fellow dungeon delvers have went into this dungeon, and all of them got killed, and you got beat the hell up, and you're barely hanging on, and you're the last survivor.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's where the game starts.
Yep.
And you are trying to survive and get out of the cave and stuff. And it's the one thing that made me hesitant on this, because I don't like the art at all on this game.
You like the art for Sorcerer City, but you don't like it for this one.
There's no people in Sorcerer City. Like the art for the
I
guys,
guess so.
it's just weird. Like, but I like it because it's the solo aspect, and
Mhm.
that's gonna be a thing. It's
literally just a solo game, and
It's
I think
strictly
I
solo,
think they
yeah.
because I talked to them at Gen Con, and I think they have plans to make like co-op.
yeah, they
Um,
could easily. I mean, other than
Right.
the mechanics have to change a little
Because
bit.
you
but-
literally just go through and you try to survive against all these insane monsters.
and it's tough. Because the playthroughs I've watched, man, it's difficult.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, like there's the first boss is like a kobold, and then it just ramps up from there.
Right.
Minotaur, an ogre, an abomination. Yeah, this one was one that they actually still send me emails of like, "Hey, get your copy of Unbroken," and I'm like,
Yeah.
I have other stuff to buy.
yeah, that's how I ended up pre-ordering it from the
Because they
companies,
just
'cause
emailed
they
you.
kept emailing me like crazy.
I like
Oh,
the
yes.
I like the like the level up system and the tracker.
Well, and you're still a badass in it too, even though you're beat up and the only
Right.
one. I mean, you kind of have to be. If you weren't, you'd be dead the first thing that walked up to you.
That's true because you get options on how you want to deal with encounters,
Right.
which will determine how you level up your character. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good one, and I figured it'd be right up your alley,
Yep, yep.
considering it's solo.
Yeah, and it's not super expensive either. It's
That's
it's
also true. This
it's not
game
bad.
did 450,000 on a pledge of 10,000.
Yeah.
So they did.
So they did pretty well.
really
If you look at the percentage of success, I mean that was
it
a
was
lot bigger than like that Planet Apocalypse. It
That's
made
true.
500,000 too, but it's
4,274%.
Yeah.
So
not bad at all.
that's
There's a big solo community out there. Like it used to be kind of like
Used to be
hidden
like
down there and
nothing,
stuff,
yeah.
but there's a lot. Gaming's gotten so big, and then
Mm.
there's the social circles. Like me, I don't have anybody around where I live that really does
right.
a whole lot. So that's why kind of
You'll see a lot of like comments on forums that I follow on Board Game Geek where they'll always post upcoming Kickstarters, and almost always someone's like, "There's no solo mode, so I'm not getting it."
That's why I didn't do Thunderstone Quest
Oh, that's fair.
because I was hoping for a solo mode to be.
Mhm.
Apparently they're going to add one eventually.
Yeah.
But they would.
It almost has to be like a variant, if anything. Granted, I don't play solo games very often. The ones I am doing I'm only doing because it's easier to record.
I just want there to be the option.
That's fair.
That's one of the buying things, reasons why I'll buy games a lot of times. Like it doesn't have to. It's not that I'm going to necessarily play it solo
Mm-hmm.
strictly,
Just if you.
but I want to have that option to
Yeah.
play it solo.
Yeah. No, I agree.
All right. So anyway, 16 was Unbroken. 15 is one. Don't know anything about the art. Don't know anything. I mean, I know a little bit about what it's going to be like. and hopefully it comes out in 2019. It says it's coming out in 2019, but Role Player Adventures.
Okay. That's not even on Kickstarter. I don't know why I'm looking that up.
Right. It's one that it's going to
Doesn't
be
even have
it's a
it.
cooperative storybook game.
It doesn't even have any artwork for it.
It doesn't yet, yeah. So I don't know what's. But it's a cooperative storybook game.
Are you sure
and-
that's not an expansion?
No, it's not. It's by
Is
itself because it says you can use your pre-built
okay.
characters, but you don't have to because it comes with its own
Okay.
generator,
Huh.
and it's a standalone.
That's pretty neat.
That's why I put it on here because
Because I expected you to have role player on there. I just assumed that they were expansions.
Fiends and
Fiends and
Familiars.
Familiars.
where it was the expansion that
Okay.
I wanted to, but that's expansion. So anyway, Role Player Adventures, it does what I wanted to do with my characters. A role player, you finish them and then you just import them into this story element and you use them to.
Mm-hmm.
But with the cool thing with the story, I mean, you have choices. It's almost like it almost turns into a which way book.
Yeah.
The king tells you to do this, you can choose to do it or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you can kind of really role play. You're a role play character,
Right.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then if you don't want to go through that, which is why they have the little pad of paper or whatever in
Mhm.
role players, you can keep it written and
Yeah.
go over to this,
Yep.
you know.
Yep.
But then they also have a really cool creator, a really quick creator if you don't want to use a role player deal, if you don't have role player,
Mm-hmm.
that you can build up your character.
Yeah, I didn't
really
know that.
fast.
I didn't know they had a generator.
Yeah,
for
it says if you look it up on BGG, it kind of gives a synopsis about it, but there's not really much known about the art. I'm assuming it's going to be the same art style as Role Player. I mean, obviously, if they're going to try to keep it cohesive.
Right.
But-
It's going to be interesting because people are going to want, like, do they want to do all the work? Because you have to make it to where you actually use your character. You know, if you play role player or you do the generating, you go through the work of making the character. You don't want it to just be like, oh, I'll make choices, and you don't need your character there at
Right.
all. Are they going to incorporate combat in it? But they have the monsters and minions
Right,
for
right.
that.
I'm assuming with this, it's going to be a Kickstarter. Like,
Oh, yeah.
all this stuff. But I would love it because there's, I don't know how many races there are in the game, but I would love if they had an option on their Kickstarter to have the male and female version of each of the races
Yep.
for this story game. Like if it ended up being a map, almost kind of like folklore,
Mm-hmm.
where you can move your people around on the story.
yeah.
I think it'd be cool to have miniatures of
Of your character.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty neat.
and go male and female since you can choose either way.
Players inhabit characters and go on exciting adventures in which the players make the decisions, and the story changes based on how they approach the challenges along the way. Yeah, players can import characters they build in roleplayer and play them in this game.
I mean, it may just be a Kickstarter in 2019. It may not be out until 2020. I don't know. It doesn't. It
That's
just.
true.
It hasn't really said one way or the other.
They
and
had a pretty quick turnaround.
they do. So
with
that's why I
roleplayer.
went ahead and put it here. And I almost think Z put this on his anticipated
Did he?
too, but he didn't really have any art either.
No, there's no image
So
available for
he kind of
this.
made his own little thing and stuff, but it's an expansion that I've known has been, or not expansion.
This would have been on my list had I. No, it's a standalone expansion.
Yeah,
So.
so you don't have to have role player play. That's
Yeah.
how I got around putting it on here.
All right.
So anyway, 15 was role player adventures. My 14 is definitely a crossover on yours.
Okay.
It's Detective City of Angels.
Yep.
Only for the fact that I love noir 40s crime stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The mechanics of this,
It's weird.
it's odd. And somehow it says I can play 1 to 4 players. So I'm trying to figure out how you can play this solo when one of the players has to be
One player has to
the
be
chisel or whatever
so-
it's called.
after Chronicles of Crime came out and Detective came out, a modern crime board game, and then you have Sherlock and all the other ones. I was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna like this one anymore. Just
Yeah, I
because
know.
there's so many of these that have come
Well,
out.
and this one was announced first. Like this was announced first before any of those other
Yep.
crime ones came out. So
But the thing that makes this different is one person plays the book essentially, and they're the ones that can relay information and interrogate back and forth
I think they're called
with the other.
Chisel.
Yeah, the chisel.
I think
So they control kind of, how people react and how much information they want to give you as a detective, but it's a competitive game.
Weird.
Yeah,
Right?
it's got an odd. I'm curious. I
Yeah.
think that's why it's on my list. I love the setting,
Mm-hmm.
and the game may totally just suck. I mean, it may. I haven't, but you gotta also remember I haven't played Detective or I haven't played
Right,
Chronicles of Crime yet either.
right. It's definitely
are
going to be
either
getting.
of those, I know Detective isn't, but is Chronicles of Crime in that noir
Uh,
area, or is it more modern?
there's an expansion that is
Okay.
noir setting.
Okay.
But the original is modern day.
Right. I just think of the video game LA Noire. That was what I wanted.
Right,
You
right.
know,
Yeah, there is a noir setting. There's also like a Welcome to Redwood, which is kind of like a Stranger Things
Oh.
kind
that's
of
cool.
setting. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be because it was announced first and it's coming out last.
Mhm.
So it's going to be. If it had come out first, I think it will probably would have gotten higher praise. But I'm worried that since now it's going
Yeah.
to be compared.
The
to
thing
these
though
other
is
ones.
it's so different
Yeah,
too.
but people
Okay.
may not like that gimmick.
Yeah, I
of
know.
It's like what. Okay,
Yeah.
because you can do cutthroat things like I can interrogate a person, and like, and then like get information and I know where I need to go and I can like hinder you from getting to that same spot.
Yeah,
So
it's gonna be interesting.
mhm.
We'll see how it rolls. But
1940s LA.
yeah. So anyway, 14 Detective City of Angels. It's gonna be a
Yeah, homicide
interesting one.
detectives that will do whatever it takes to solve the case, but one player will take on the role of the chisel, whose goal is to stall and misdirect the detectives at every turn.
Oh dear.
So,
So yeah, again, I don't know how to play solo. If they have,
does it say?
it says
play
1 to
solo?
4. It just says 1 to 4.
1 to 5.
Or 1 to 5. I'm like,
You play
so
the
is-
chisel,
or is
and you play the detectives.
there, or is there a deck for the chisel maybe that they've created or
Might
something?
be.
I don't know. But anyway, that's my 14.
Yep.
My 13 is the new one I just put on the list last night that I was telling you about.
Okay.
It's from Shim Phillips, the guy who made Raiders of the North Sea, Architects of the West Kingdom, getting ready to do Paladins, and it's called Circadians First Light. It is on Kickstarter right now.
How do you spell that?
CircadianS.
Okay.
So with this game, because he's pretty much Shim Phillips has got my money whenever he does stuff at this point because I love everything he's done.
Well, the designer is Sam McDonald.
Right, but Shim Phillips he was in on it.
Mhm.
Yeah, so, but pretty much what you do is you lead a team of researchers, and on this planet, and it's competitive. It's not cooperative.
Yeah.
You're trying to be the top research team and get the most
Mhm.
victory points. But it's dice placement,
Okay.
set collection. Your crew is your dice. So you like place the dice to do different
Oh, like
odds
Gen
and ends
7.
and stuff.
So good.
It's on here just because of Shim Phillips mainly.
Yep. Yep.
The game it doesn't look as the art doesn't catch me
It
like
reminds me of Archer.
Yeah, in a way.
Archer
Yeah, I
kind
can
of
see that.
style art.
It isn't to say they don't have the same artist as the Raiders and all that
Yeah.
stuff. It's
Yeah.
it's different stuff, but
May have to back this just because I missed out on Architects. Even though you can just buy it.
yeah. I like dice placement games. That's
I do too.
That's a cool
Mhm.
deal. Kingsburg, all that stuff.
Yep.
And it's kind of got a little bit of a different theme to it. I'm interested to see what he does with stuff.
This is interesting. For this Kickstarter, we've decided not to offer any stretch goals. Instead, all components will be upgraded from day one.
And there's no pledge manager either, so you can't, like, if you look at the deals, like
Mhm.
there's the one, if you go to the $1 deal, they're not doing a pledge manager.
Really?
Yeah, so you have to get it now, and you can't just put $1 and then get it later.
That's kind of stupid.
That's been a lot of places do that anymore.
Well, it's like, do you guys want your fucking game? Because most people back it at $1 because they don't have the money right now
Right.
to buy it. It's like, I don't have. This game's fucking $78.
Well,
I'm getting sick and tired.
Well, look at that's New Zealand. Look below. It's like 53.
Oh, okay, 52.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah. No, it's
$100
that
and seven game.
That Garfield. I think Garfield Games is doing that too. I think it's the same.
Mm-hmm.
They're in New Zealand, so it's
Okay. Well,
everything's.
that makes me feel a little bit better.
So anyway,
Oh, it's engine building too.
yeah. I mean, it's got a lot of cool
I like
mechanic
engine
type
building.
things. So I'm kind of hyped on it a little bit, even though I just found it last night. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know a ton about it.
Oh, you don't have to pay shipping.
Yeah, they don't ever charge shipping
Oh.
on their stuff. So I mean, it's $53. It's not a bad deal, you know.
There you go. I just backed it.
There you go. You're welcome.
There you go, Circadians. And
Because he
if-
watches, you know, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, he's a huge fan.
Garfield Games watches your
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah. We're bros.
So anyway, that's my 13. Circadian's
Alright.
First Light. 12 has the potential to be an awesome game, or it's going to piss me off beyond belief
Right.
because, and it's actually going to be getting to backers like this month.
Okay.
Resident Evil 2, the board game.
Huh.
That's funny because the game comes out, the remake comes out in a week.
Right.
So-
I just looked at the updates last night for this, and it said it's shipping on the 15th, so it should be showing up
Smart.
here pretty quick. I love Resident Evil.
Are you gonna get the remake?
I might. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
Video games are really iffy with me. Like,
Apparently,
I'll
it's
buy a
really
ton.
there's a demo out now. If you, cause it'll be up until 6 days after it comes out, so you can try the demo
yeah,
and see if you like it. Oh, Steamforge Games did this.
yeah, and so it's
Well-
it's co-op. It's scenario based. The miniatures are awesome. If you know anything, I mean they are
I
pretty
did.
synonymous
They did
with.
Dark Souls,
Oh, okay.
so
Oh, there you
the
go.
miniatures were awesome. The game was not that good.
Right. I don't. I mean, I mainly put this on the list because it's Resident Evil and stuff. The game could be crap. I don't know. I just
They
know
also
that it's another one I can play solo.
they also did Horizon Zero Dawn.
Right. I don't play that.
So
one
I'm
either,
playing it
so-
right now. But Steamforge Games, they're getting these big IPs, and it's crazy because Eric Lang just announced a Bloodborne board game.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised Steamforge didn't jump on that, considering they did Dark Souls, the card game, and the board game.
Right.
But yeah,
So-
I think I stayed away from this one because I've never played Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
And Steamforge Games is essentially on my shit list because Dark Souls.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not really my shit list, but Dark Souls the board game wasn't that good, but their card game is a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I'm hoping this isn't too basic because if you look at some of the pictures, it's like your prototypical dungeon diving
Mhm.
scenario based. You know, like.
I
Sorry.
guarantee you it will probably be that,
Yeah.
but yeah, it'll just have the Resident Evil theme. on
But
it.
here's the deal. I was very amped up many years ago when the Resident Evil deck building game was talked about when it came out, and
Mhm.
you know my history with that.
Right,
game.
right.
It sucked, and I love deck builders, and it broke my heart, I
Yeah.
guess, in a way, because it had such a good deal. So when this Resident Evil 2 thing was like out, I'm gonna play it. No.
So they have a
doubt.
retro pack
Yeah.
that shows it's like all old school video game art.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I mean, looking at it, it doesn't look like wow.
Yeah. It's all theme for me.
Mhm.
I mean, like, I wouldn't have given it 2 glances. If this had just some basic horror theme to it,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have
Yeah.
paid it to. But being Resident Evil
That's
2,
what
I'm
they
just,
bank on.
I know, and I'm a sucker.
I
guess,
have been
but-
saying though, I really wish I had kept Dark Souls the board game only for the miniatures,
Yeah,
like because they're really good.
yeah,
But and then Horizon Zero Dawn has awesome miniatures, and there's gonna be a shit ton of stuff for that. So I essentially got that for theme as well.
yeah. So anyway, my 12 Resident Evil 2. Fingers crossed that it actually is something decent. If not, and I end up buying it, I'm a fan enough that I might just keep it for the miniatures
Yeah.
to have Resident Evil
Yeah, for sure.
abominations and all that stuff. All right, my number 11 was on yours. It may have been your number 1.
Well,
Tainted Grail.
Okay, my Tainted Grail was my number one.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Your number 11.
Yeah, my number 11, and I didn't back it.
You should.
I know as much as I know
This
I should
made
have.
$6.3 million
I know, it's
on
the
a
big-
pledge of
it-
51,000.
It was the biggest Kickstarter of anything on Kickstarter, game related, not game related, whatever. They were just talking about it.
Was it?
Yeah, it was the biggest Kickstarter of 2018.
Oh, of 2018.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I
no,
thought you
ever.
meant of all time.
No,
I'm
no,
like,
no.
I don't think so.
No, of 2018 it was the biggest.
I'm like,
on
because
any-
Kingdom Death Monster had
Yeah.
like 12 million or
Right.
some outrageous amount.
But yeah, of anything on Kickstarter,
Yep.
board game related or not. I really wanted. I just didn't. I mean, you know,
I think if you had played Seventh Continent,
probably
you probably would have backed it.
right.
Mainly for that.
I couldn't. Anyway, it's King Arthur stuff, dark King Arthur lore, and yeah, I know I'll enjoy playing it.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the reason I didn't though, because how much was it to get the,
Just the base, or the because
Or-
they did the Grail
I
collectors
would've
all in.
which was how much, like
That was $361.
exactly, okay.
Which comes with all like 4 expansions, all models pre-painted, collector's
well, I don't want
premium,
pre-painted,
all
that's-
sleeves, metal coins, neoprene mat.
Yeah. So how much was the base?
Base game was 90.
Okay. Well, here's what I saw when I looked at this game was, and mind you, I didn't do a lot of research because I didn't want to spend the money, so I didn't want to get too much into it. But how I rationalized not backing this was I'm paying a lot of money for pretty miniatures and little gameplay with a lot of story.
Yeah.
Like I could see there was a lot of story behind
You're
it.
also paying for the artwork.
No, I know, but like I didn't see much in the gameplay,
Mhm.
but I didn't get into it a lot, so I know it's
I mean, essentially,
It's-
yeah. From a material standpoint, like you're paying for really good artwork and
Right.
and cards
right.
is what you're
So
paying.
so I'm like, it's gonna come out retail,
Mm-hmm.
maybe.
I don't think
If
so.
not,
They don't do retail games.
I get enough stuff on secondhand
yeah, you'll
afterwards.
be able.
If once I hear people that once it's out,
This-
people play it, and if they, are,
You cannot play this with your family.
oh I know.
And I was like, there's
No,
no way. Because here's the crazy thing. This was Tom Vassel's number 1.
Mhm.
And I'm waiting for his next Q&A because I'm like, because he's like, oh, it's dark. And I'm like, dude, you don't like dark games. And I'm like, I don't think you know, you can come across nuns who have been raped in this game. Like, Tom, you will not like this game.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It happened. No, it's like, this is like, this war of mine, everyone's like, oh, it's very dark.
Yeah.
It is. You don't come across rape
Yeah, I
in
think
this
It's like
war of
the
mine.
Game of Thrones board games where, like, if it can happen, it's gonna
I
happen.
think his love for King Arthur overshadowed it. Like he
Yeah.
crapped on Kingdom Death Monster,
Mhm.
but that doesn't have that. It just has
Yeah,
a
it's just
fantasy theme or whatever.
grotesque and just.
This one, I think, that King Arthur
Mhm.
theme is what is overshadowing the.
Yeah, he's like, it's
the
King Arthur, it's gonna be
content.
cool. It's
Right.
like, and Sam's like, oh, I would have liked it if it's regular King Arthur. This is a dark twist. It's very Dark Souls like because of the bonfires. I can't remember what they call them. They're not on here right now. But the lanterns, because
Yeah.
the world's enveloped in darkness, and you light these beacons essentially. Awakened Realms has only disappointed on one game, which was Lords of Hellas, and
I've seen a lot of people still like that.
everyone
too.
loves it. And
Yeah.
that was one of the games where in our Never Play Again
Uh-huh.
that I was like, I think it was my
Yeah, I can't remember.
number
what
10
one.
because I'm like I would try this one again just because Awakened Realms is great for this war of mine, Nemesis.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's another one that I had.
Oh, I don't.
Uh,
like them.
They're doing another one called The Edge. Yeah, you don't like Nemesis,
don't
which
like
is
Nemesis.
sad because it's so good. But yeah, it's just, and then they came out with so much for their just storybooks that
Yeah, and you're getting a ton of crap, and I that's why it's still on this list.
Yeah.
That's why it's in the middle of the pack at 11. Cause,
that's fair. I was really hoping it would surprise me at number 1.
Oh my god.
You would just be like, oh,
No,
that's
you're-
right.
you're-
I lied about not backing it.
Yeah,
There's gonna you might get surprised by a couple of things on
Okay.
this list, but
at least it's on
the
the
next
list.
one will surprise you actually.
All right.
I look forward to. I can't remember. I think Chad backed it. I look forward to buying Chad's.
For sure. Like he will sell it because there's no way he's playing this
He
one
may
either.
not have gotten it. I don't know if he did or not. but
Because I'm still like Seventh Continent is fantastic, and it was in
that's one that
because I was explained to this. How I heard about it was listening to Rollo's podcast actually, and he was like, it seems like a Seventh Continent Gloomhaven mix up in with Arthurian lore, and I was like, well, that just sounds
Yeah.
perfect. So let's just jump on that.
It looks.
So how far did you go in on it?
I went all in.
390.
Three.
Three
No, I didn't.
I don't care.
No,
You mean we didn't eat that week?
That's why I'm like 6 months behind on my mortgage.
Oh
No, I actually saved up for
Yeah.
this one. This is now my most expensive back. The one before it was Seventh Continent.
Yeah, my most will be further down on this list.
Hmm.
Your most backed.
My most I spent. Yeah.
Oh, really? You
So-
went all in on one of them. That was like $300 something. I thought.
Oh, we'll
We'll get
to
there.
it.
We're gonna
Okay.
get.
All right.
All right. So my number 10 is going to be the one that's going to surprise you because I've talked crap on this game before.
It's Pandemic Legacy Season 3, isn't it?
No, I've talked. No, I haven't. No. My number 10 is Simon. It's space themed.
Starcadia Quest? Why?
Because
I hate you. That's so
Because-
stupid.
No, and I knew I was gonna get crap for this, but I love Arcadia Quest.
Oh my God.
I have made so much fun of Star Arcadia Quest. Even the last video we recorded, I think when we were talking about something that got brought up. It is
I will
on
say this
list.
company is like starting to be on a lot of people's, like no one is, they're starting to not be as
Right.
excited for their games.
Well, and I'll tell you why I'm going for this, and it's not theme based; it's mechanic based.
Okay.
Because I think this is something that they should have done with
Arcadia Quest.
Quest.
Oh wow.
You control only 2 things
Okay.
in your guild, or your what they don't call it guild in Starcadia Quest, whatever they call it, your team.
Yeah.
But you only control 2 characters instead of 3,
Okay.
and it lets you build those 2 characters up more. There's more
Oh,
places
okay.
for you to build them up, right?
Yep.
And that simple switch makes, because one of your big complaints was the overpower or underpower,
The imbalance of
the imbalance
characters.
characters. You only have 2 now,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all going to turn into badasses
Okay.
eventually in their own way, because there's so many spots to power them up. There's so
Yeah.
many things. And I think Vassal said the same thing. This
I've
was on
heard
this
that
because
this isn't just a re-themed
right.
Arcadia Quest, and I'm like,
They've changed it. They've changed
Mhm.
the battling is a little different. They've changed and because I don't disagree with you when you talk about the character, when you pick characters and there's
If you-
some that are better than others and
Right.
stuff like that.
right.
I think this is their solution to that.
Okay.
So I think then if they do it, well, not if, when they do another Arcadia Quest game, because they will.
But can they rhyme? Can they like play off Starcadia
But
Quest?
I'm thinking they will change it to whatever the theme is. It'll be back to that 2 characters. I think that's a very important thing. I think they should have done that before Inferno came out.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they went to 2 characters,
Because you always had, because you had 3 characters,
3 characters,
and always one of them was shit.
and it took long because it takes longer to build up 3 characters
Right.
because of all the spots. This is just the 2,
Mm-hmm.
and you can max them out.
I wonder how much.
Badass.
Because it looks like, because in Arcadia Quest you have 3 and they can have 4 slots,
Mm-hmm.
so that'd be 12. I wonder if it'd be 2 and you have 6.
I
for
think
each.
there was more. Plus,
But-
I mean, they have chibi aliens.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
You can't,
I'm
They're
not-
adorable.
but so yeah, I mean, I have
Is this
kind
the
of
only game that does chibi?
No,
Yeah.
there's a Kingdom, not Kingdom Death Monster.
That Monster Chibi.
No, what's that? Super
I'd
Dungeon,
pay more for that.
Super Dungeon Explorer.
Oh, you're right.
Oh.
Okay.
Um,
Death Monster.
That's what I
Oh,
was.
look, it's the chibi lion
Yeah,
testicles.
Chibi, Median Lion or whatever.
I will say the minis. I was looking at all of them, and they've got one named Luna, who's clearly Princess Leia.
Oh
it
yeah,
is,
yeah.
by
They
far.
do that.
Oh
Simon.
yeah, and then
They do
they've
that.
got Major Tom.
Did you see there's a Chewy one around there? I think.
Is there a
somewhere,
Chewy
too.
one? 'Cause
There's one that's like all furry. I think.
He's probably.
It's probably an
It
expansion.
could have been an expansion.
And then I was
there.
scrolling down more, and I saw not that where was it? The Zenith Invasion, which is clearly the Xenomorphs,
Yeah.
and then they had the Thornet Troopers, which are very much the Stormtroopers, and I fucking hated Arcadia Quest.
No, and there's a lot of people that do. It's in my top. It was. I'm not
But
going to
that
spoil
looks
anything.
really
It was in my top 10
Mm-hmm.
at one point. Just because I don't know. I just like it, but I have a feeling.
What was the dice game? That was Arcadia Quest, but
Oh
with dice.
Jesus Christ, Masmora.
Yeah, it's no Masmora.
It's
Like,
no
Masmora was
mess.
by far.
I don't even think I.
We played that,
We did, and we're like,
and I don't even know. I guess we finished.
yeah, we did finish it, and I was like,
I
wow,
sold
that
it
was
the next day. I was like,
it was bad.
Is
was-
it also by Simon?
what it did. Masmora was in the same world as Arcadia Quest. It was a whole different style of game. Like you roll these
You
big
had
chunky dice, and that was the bad
your
guys you
enemies.
fought.
It was fucking
And it was
stupid.
competitive. But what's cool is like it had a crossover, so all the hero characters that you had for Masmora you could use in Arcadia Quest.
Oh,
that was the
cool.
only reason I actually backed it.
That's cool.
But then I sold it all.
Then
Yeah.
we played it,
Because
and
it
I
was
was
horrible.
like, okay.
Yeah, I
Can
would
we,
say
do you have Arcadia
It was
Quest?
very
Let's
bad.
play that.
Star Arcadia not excited for, but the minis are.
Yeah. So
That was not even
so
on my fucking radar.
plus I'm the self-pronounced biggest Star Wars nerd around. So like,
hate
and then I saw
sand.
some of the Star Wars characters, and I was like, it grew on me.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll buy it, and I'll see how it changes.
I mean,
but-
you know my complaints. Just let me know.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
not buying it. Besides, Simon is kind of pissing me off lately.
Yeah.
So they're becoming a very like cash grab kind of company.
Well, they've lost a lot of money last year, so they're gonna.
Good!
They're starting to restructure their.
They better, because
Yeah.
you can't just like at this point people want substance to their games.
Right.
And you can't just give them a bunch of shit like Massive Darkness. Anyway,
Uh,
number
my
nine?
number 9 is Reavers of Midgard.
Okay.
Same world as Champions of Midgard, which is another one of my favorite games of all time. This one has different mechanics, though. This one is actually like what would happen after Champions of Midgard.
After you championed.
This is more of a different kind of, like it's worker placement. It's kind of like has
They're
that.
based out of St.
but you-
Louis?
Yes,
I didn't know that.
Green Fox. Yeah.
Neat.
It has you. The difference with this is you're going and raiding villages, and you're
Mhm.
doing kind of the stuff like you think about like in Raiders of the North Sea. You're raiding villages. You're doing stuff
Mhm.
like that. You gain these reavers throughout your deal. Everybody has their own player board that's like a ship.
Yep.
And when you get a reaver, they're kind of like the elites. They can be used a few different ways. They can be used to be the ship leader, which makes your crew and your ship and stuff better. They can rally more warriors, give you more warriors for when you do go and raid. They can help specialize your crew, getting a bonus every time they go set sail. It's dice again, all
Yeah.
that good stuff.
This is a sequel to one of those games that I need to try
Yes,
with more people
with more than 2.
and the expansions.
Yes,
The
the Valhalla expansion.
It's also been-
definitely.
like 3 years since I've played
Yeah.
it, so
Playing it with more than 2 players will make it
I think so too.
insane.
If we try it with,
And Valhalla is awesome. Like that's
I've heard that's a must. Is
I don't think it's a must
Okay.
because I love the base game by itself.
Okay.
It's good, but I would still play the base game just as much as I would without it.
Yeah.
It doesn't fix anything for me. Like I didn't think anything was broken in the first one.
Man, I should have just backed this one because they have an add-on which includes It's the
Well, the
Jarl edition, which includes all the expansions.
Pledge Manager is still open.
Oh, is it?
I haven't sent mine in yet, so let me look at it. Maybe we can do
Perfect.
something.
Cool,
you
cool.
know? But because it'll be closing in February, I think. But,
Okay.
But anyway, so I love Champs of Midgard, Reavers of Midgard, same art, same, world.
Are you worried that this one, like, do you think you can play this one and Champions?
Oh yeah,
You do?
they're totally different games.
Okay.
Yeah, this one actually doesn't sound as good to me as Champions.
Okay.
I'm mainly getting it because
Champions.
I like
And you
Champions.
like Vikings.
It's a different game. Like there would be no
Is
reason to
Vikings
get
your
this.
favorite theme?
It used to be zombies. My favorite theme.
Because mine's still Cthulhu. Has to
Like,
be
yeah,
my
Cthulhu's
favorite
not-
theme. But probably second to that is like detective.
Mine's probably either detective or Japanese.
Oh yeah, yeah, feudal, like feudal.
Japanese is way low on mine.
Yeah, you don't really care for that.
Well, I was looking over there at Saikatsu, and it's
Yeah.
just really.
I very much like.
I don't know what my favorite theme would be now.
That'd be a good top 10.
Yeah, because I have so
Because I know
many
we've
that-
done worse themes, and that'd be a stretch for a top 10. I came up with 10 bad
themes would
themes,
be rough.
but I don't really have a whole lot of games to.
Yeah, good themes. That'd be a good one to look at because there's a lot of things I like, but I'd have to like sit there and write them all
Mhm.
down and be like, oh yeah, that's what would be better.
Yeah. All right, Reavers of Midgard. Cool.
Yes,
Number 9.
Number 8 is the one that is actually people can buy now, but it hasn't hit like the retail stores.
Okay.
Stonemaier Games.
Wingspan.
Yep.
That
Wingspan.
mine will be here next week.
Right.
Oh.
So,
This one. Go ahead.
anyway,
This is my top 20 again.
yes, Wingspan, Stonemaier Games. Again, everything he produces and puts out pretty much gold.
He is like an awesome guy too.
Yeah.
I haven't met him personally, but like my email for the pre-order, he like emailed me like 4 times telling me, "Hey, I'm sorry, the FedEx didn't pick it up.
Yeah.
We're really
yeah.
sorry about that." And I'm like, oh, I don't care.
Yeah,
like,
he's
I'll get it when I get it.
He's on it, and he's a Kickstarter guru. Like he knows how to run them
Mhm.
properly and everything. This is a competitive game. It's an engine builder. Wonderful components with the little pretty cute little eggs, but it has the art like every
what was it, like
card.
400 different
There's
birds.
so
or
many different birds in this, yeah. And my wife automatically, as soon as she saw it, she fell in love with it.
See, here's the thing.
Not that your people want to know, but her nickname for me is Bird. Yeah, yeah.
Why?
So, I don't know. Well, because the girls call me Pigeon.
Why?
I don't know, and then she calls me Bird. It's a married thing.
Not that your people want to know.
It's
but
a married thing.
My wife calls
All right.
me Bird.
But anyway,
It's a sex
so
thing.
What? So she sees this bird, and she just likes it. Plus, she loves viticulture.
Well, Stonemaier Games is, I don't think, yes. And here's the thing. First of all, Stonemaier Games, I don't think has ever made a game that I don't like.
Oh,
I'd have to look through all of them to see.
Yeah, 'cause he's
I haven't
right.
played Between Two Cities, and I haven't played.
Oh, I haven't played that either.
I have it over there, but I haven't played it. And then they did the Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig,
See, I haven't played
which
that
I haven't
either.
played Castles of Mad King Ludwig. Anyway,
Castles.
I saw Rado because this came out of nowhere, and this is not the Kickstarter one.
And this is a first-time designer.
Yeah,
This
so
ladies, this is her first game.
that's right. So it's about birds, and literally not literally, but most people are like, I don't give a shit about birds. I just want the game because just sheer component quality
Yep.
just goes to show that you don't have to. Because it wasn't on Kickstarter, was it?
No, they just
Yeah, I
went
didn't think
straight
so.
to
Straight to
pre-order.
retail or pre-order, and just sheer component quality shows that you don't have to go on Kickstarter to make a good game.
Right.
So.
No, because he's done. I mean, that's what's cool about their catalog.
Mhm.
Because they have winemaking, they have scythe with the deal, they have, they bounce around with all these crazy deals. Euphoria. That's another one
Euphoria's
of theirs. But anyway, like, pretty much what you're doing in this is it's competitive, like I said. You're trying to create the best wildlife preserve, like
That's
have
it.
the coolest bird sanctuary, really.
Mhm.
But the art is so realistic, like realistic art. It even has a freaking
Dice
tower?
tower. It's a dice tower.
If you
That's
roll
a
the
bird.
special
It's
dice,
a bird
that's a bird
house.
house.
Oh my
Like the
God.
component quality's nuts on
That
this.
is so cute.
Cat hates birds.
I
But-
think they're evil.
I like
well,
birds.
my dad hates them too. But what the thing is with this game is like, look at their catalog. They're unique. There's
Mhm.
not very many winemaking games out there. Utopia game is Scythe is its own beast.
Yeah.
How many bird making games are there out there? Or not bird making, but bird games.
How many bird games are there? One. Saikatsu is actually
I'm just
kind
saying,
of
like,
one.
so.
You're trying to attract birds.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that the thing that really pushed it over the top with this game for me, is that it gets compared engine building wise to Terraforming Mars.
I've heard about that.
It is getting compared to Terraforming Mars as far as the cool engine building aspect.
Mhm.
So I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
now you're talking, because
Yeah.
I love Terraforming Mars. So you got new designer, but you have great publisher.
Who apparently is
Great.
knocking it out of the park. So good
just,
for her.
Just everything. So it hits on all accounts. So I will be.
I've heard
definitely
the only
getting this.
negative I've heard of this game, and it's kind of your taste in games, and it came from Z Garcia, was that your engine becomes so big that it's kind of like towards the end of the game you're like, okay, so this does this and this and you're
Right.
like just triggering a bunch of
Oh
stuff,
God.
and it goes back and forth, kind of like Gizmos did,
Uh,
which I didn't care for Gizmos a whole lot because there wasn't a whole lot of meat to it, but that's not a negative for me,
right.
but that is just one I've heard.
It would probably be negative for me.
Yeah, I
There
mean,
comes a certain point in anything where I'm like, I don't know.
because you have to, okay, this is going to trigger this, and this is going to trigger this, but it gradually increases, so at that point you should
You
kind of
learn
remember
your
what it's
You
doing.
gradually learn it as you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I pre-ordered it, and I was like, well, I mean, it has to be good.
So I didn't realize that Stonemaier Games made a My Little Scythe.
They did
It was
make
actually the story with that really quick
Yeah.
is it was actually a fan made it, posted it on BGG.
Aww.
It was a fan made deal with My Little Pony.
Oh my.
He made it for his daughter, and it was all My Little Pony horses. And then
Oh.
Jamie Stegmaier found it, got a hold of the guy, bought the idea from him, created the board game.
That's adorable.
That tells you everything you need to know about Stegmaier.
That is so
because he
cute.
like looked at the fan expansions like, this is awesome, I want to get this out
Yeah,
there.
they've done that for.
He paid the guy and did it.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Besides my little scythe,
Because I was looking at all their games and I was like, what's My Little Scythe? And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah, if you get on
is
BGG, it's
he's released, and I have it because I have everything for Scythe. He released a fan made encounter
Yep,
pack.
yep,
Just hey, there you go, we own it.
yep, the fans are involved in his stuff. That's
Very
awesome. So I think he's a St. Louis guy
Wingspan.
too.
I don't even know. I don't think Wingspan would have made my anticipated because it's birds. Like, and I didn't have a whole lot to go off of, but it might have because it's Stonemaier.
Right. That's
So,
why. Because
it
if
just
it was
came out of
if it was
nowhere.
just a bird game, but the Stonemaier thing's what pushed it over.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. It's
But
gotta
like,
be good.
because he's from St. Louis too. Did you know that?
I did not know
Yeah,
that.
Stonemaier. That's where they're
Cool.
at. He's from there. He
Cool.
always goes
That's
to the
really
Archway, the Arch.
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
Big
ArchCon,
one.
ArchCon. That con that's in.
Oh, okay.
I was just like, meant the art.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
he always goes to that.
The Arch.
Hey guys, it's me.
How you
here,
doing?
here at the Arch.
So anyway,
Okay.
my number 7 is Football Highlights 2052.
Okay. I think you've talked about that.
Yeah, I have before. I backed this one. This is one I
What if
actually
they
continued.
did they do a Chiefs stretch goal? Did you get it?
No, the Chiefs haven't even been made yet. But
Are
anyway,
you gonna get it?
Huh?
Are you gonna get it?
I'll get every team, and then I'll just tear them up slowly in front of all the Chiefs fans. Yes.
Bird.
But anyway, this is Baseball Highlights 2045. I think was the baseball version of this. I don't know if you know much about that.
You've talked about it.
Yeah, so it uses the same system, I guess, just only in football terms. It's kind of got like this old style art to it. There are humans, cyborgs, robots. You choose your 10-person team of cards to start with, and it's got an offense and defense half on each
Okay.
one. And then you're playing those 10 cards, and that simulates a game.
Yep.
So, and you're playing response. So you'll play this card. It's like, oh, that's a 15-yard slant. And then the other one could play this for defense, which would stop it or minimize or whatever. But then you're going to lose the offensive deal. So like you have to.
okay.
And it's a football game. And after those 10 cards, whatever the score is, That's it.
Yeah.
It has, and what's cool about it, just like with baseball, he has every baseball team
Oh, that's
out for it. Just like they're eventually going to do football. Like, plus the Eagles are in the starter box.
Nice.
So that's.
Didn't you say it was like Eagles Cowboys?
Eagles, Cowboys.
Who cares? Those are the ones that matter.
Eagles and the Cowboys.
I can't remember the other ones, but anyway. So
Go
it's just
Cats.
one of those cool games. It should be coming out here before long. But it has solo play to it, competitive. I mean, it's if you like baseball highlights 2045, this is football for it, and
I really
think it's
want
gonna
to
be
try
pretty
the
solid.
baseball highlights.
It's good. They have it actually. There's an app for it if you want to just try it out.
Oh, you did tell me.
Yeah,
that.
I think it might be free actually.
Cool.
But no, it's a wonderful game, and I think it'll be a good one for them. So that's my number 7, football highlights 2052. Number 6 is one that I really.
You liar! It's
Well-
$4.
Oh, okay, sorry. My number 6 is one that I really, really waffled on. Shortly
You
after.
didn't back it.
Right.
Okay.
I had it backed. I
Really waffled
stopped.
on. I don't know why it's in number 6.
Well, no, but I really, I've watched more videos on the original game because this is a deluxeified version, a new version of it that's got streamlined rules and stuff like that.
Okay.
After you guys taught me Orleans
Oh,
last year, I think, or
something like that.
something
yeah.
like that.
It was last year.
I fell into the TMG deluxeified. I was like, oh, and then the next one that came out after that was this game called Gentis.
Oh
Or
yeah.
Gentis, yeah, whatever. And I had it backed. And I was just at that time I didn't have the cash to do it, so I ended up
Yeah.
backing out. But I will get it. They won't. The deluxeified won't go retail, so I'll have to find it on the market. But it's a civilization game, and it has a really cool time mechanic to it. The art is kind of ancient looking art, like our cave drawing kind of art. It's kind of like a weird deal, but pretty much what you do with this game is you're taking actions as you build your stuff, and as you do these certain actions, there's these little what do they call this thing? Not time cap. I guess time capsule.
Hourglass.
Hourglass. That's what I was looking for. And you put those hourglasses up onto your time track.
Yep.
And that's the time mechanic. I mean, and it goes through 3 eras. Is I think 3 eras. Or millennia.
Oh,
or
I don't
something like
know.
that. Yeah, it's but as the time thing fills up, then you go into the next era, and you're gaining workers, and you have to spend workers to do these actions too and stuff. It's just it's almost kind of like a resource management kind of, maybe a little bit of, but the time mechanic stood out to me, and it's got a simplistic art style, like look.
It looks very basic.
But it's very challenging as well. Like it's you're gonna think on a game like this, you know.
I think I
I've
had this
slowly-
one backed as well.
Yeah,
and
we
I pulled
both
out.
we were both talking about it, and then I told you I was gonna end up backing it, so you backed out, and then I backed out.
And then you
too.
backed
So-
out.
so,
That's
yeah.
right.
But I will get it. I have a guy that I've been talking to that's gonna. he's
So
gonna
you
sell
use
me
deluxe
his.
copy.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
So anyway, Gentis or Gentis, it's a TMG deluxeified. It's if you like crunchy games, because it's a lot more difficult than it looks.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
So that's my number 6, Gentis.
Okay.
Number 5, I am only wanting for theme alone,
Okay.
and I don't even know if you've ever heard of
Knocked
this.
it up to number 5.
Yep, because it's that.
Be a good
that
theme,
often.
yeah.
Yeah. It was a PC game.
Okay.
All the iterations of this game. That's what the IP is from. It's called Jagged Alliance, the board game. On Jagged Alliance, you controlled a team of mercenaries, and you went around the world taking out.
This thing barely made any money.
You go around taking out. That you were hired to do missions.
Mhm.
You were a good group of people. But the computer game was like, it was action point allowance. So like you'd click here and move your person would move
Oh,
forward.
okay.
They each have a certain amount of points.
Yeah.
And I love the computer games. Then this thing I saw come out, I was back and forth on it. It's totally cooperative. You can play it either as skirmish or scenario based.
Okay.
But what you do is it has a little bit of a mechanic where because each player has fatigue.
Okay.
You can spend extra fatigue to move further or to make your weapons more accurate or
Okay.
better or whatever. But what's cool about it is it says it uses, and I haven't played these games yet, but when I was looking at the stuff, it says it uses elements of combat from Dark Souls, Imperial Assault, and Conan.
Okay.
So that's
I
a
have
wide
played,
range of...
all of those.
Right. But,
That could be interesting if they. So if they're taking combat, I mean combat in all of them are dice based, so that doesn't bode well.
right.
But if they could make it interesting by doing the deck system for enemies, for bosses, like Dark Souls,
Right.
and then they could do the tableau thing from Conan, but that would kind of be.
Yeah,
really
it's
fiddly.
I don't know, like I said, it's theme alone because there were 2 PC games I played back in the 90s that I loved the hell out of, and it was Fallout and it was Jagged Alliance. Those were the 2 deals. So, and the miniatures look cool. The Kickstarter looked neat. It's just one of those things. It was a first time. I
This was
think it was a
funded.
first time Kickstarter person too, so I was kind of weary.
Yeah,
whether
because
it
it was
gonna
funded in November.
Yeah,
of
it's getting ready to
2017.
deliver.
Okay.
I looked at some of the updates and stuff
Gotcha.
as going. It's getting there.
Made
But
74,000 on a pledge of 56, so they just made it.
It was just one of those things. Like it seemed like a really big project for a first time
Yeah.
person. So I'm just kind of like, weary. of it,
Wary,
but-
yeah, for sure.
but anyway, Jagged Alliance board game. If you liked that IP, the game looks like it's going to match up with that IP.
Never heard of it.
Because you're young.
Yeah. Plus, I don't do a whole lot of PC gaming anyway.
I didn't either, and I did
So-
back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Before.
Before actual games came out.
Yeah. My number 4 may have been on your list. It was announced a few weeks ago. Paladins of the West Kingdom.
No, it's not on my list.
It is again. It's goes along with the Raiders of the North Sea. It's that whole same art style. Architects of the West Kingdom. This is the next game in the West Kingdom trilogy.
Yep.
It's competitive. Most VP wins. Pretty much what you're doing in this game is you are protecting the city. You're trying to be the best protector of the city. There's going to be stuff coming at you, and you are building outposts and gathering workers to help build outposts and stuff like that. And you're just gaining. There isn't a whole lot of information out about it yet because the
Right.
Kickstarter I think will be here in 2 weeks. I think. Is when
Oh, it's not on
starting.
Kickstarter yet? Okay. I was
No,
sitting
no.
here trying to look for it, and I'm like,
No,
okay, I
it's
guess
not.
I'm
It's
not
not on
spelling
Kickstarter
it
yet.
right.
It will be. I think they said February. I think, but anyway, I'm gonna get it. I mean, it fits right in there. I love Architects of the West Kingdom. This is the next. I hope it doesn't do like the Raiders trilogy though, because I didn't like Shipwrights or Explorers.
Oh, yeah.
on the
I
North
don't think a
Sea,
lot of
so-
people did.
I'm hoping this kind of stays in that same deal, but we'll see. It looks badass and Paladins are cool, so.
I wish, because I haven't played Architects, but a lot of people say it's really good.
I like it a lot.
I wonder if Paladins is going to live up to expectations. I wish it might have been smarter on them to. Well, it's weird because they're riding on the hype of Architects, so they're actually probably doing really. They're going to do really well
Right.
because people want that. But I wonder if it might end up biting them in the ass.
Well, here's my word. If you think about the Raiders trilogy,
Mm-hmm.
you had worker placement.
Yep.
And then you had whatever the hell the other 2 were, just kind of weird stuff. Architects, worker placement,
Yeah.
with a little bit of a twist. I hope that they
They don't do
something
just
sharp.
weird stuff. They just shit the bed.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Because I missed out on all the Raiders stuff. I didn't do their Kickstarters.
Right.
And I'm jumping on these Kickstarters just to see how it goes now. So it looks badass,
Mhm.
and so that's the mainly reason.
Yeah, that was not on my
And
list.
Architects is the best of all of those games at this point, with Raiders being just a smidge behind it.
A smidge behind.
So anyway, that is Paladins of the West Kingdom. Number 3 was on your list.
Okay.
Title Blades, Heroes of the
Okay.
Reef.
Man, that's way up there.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I love it. This one's wonderful.
I think it would have been higher if I remembered what it was about.
Yeah, this one is also Druid City Games.
Yep.
I have written down here badass production because when you get the deluxe version, it has the dice bowl that's the stadium. I mean, it's just nuts.
This one's
all
very
the
bright,
components
colorful.
and stuff. It's very appealing. But pretty much what the theme is you're playing a tournament. You are controlling a person.
That's
You're
right.
going to these different stadiums and it's a tournament and you're trying to become the title blade.
That's
and that's
right.
like that's the
Was it a
steam.
tournament? I thought it was kind of like monsters were attacking.
No, you're competing in stadiums.
Oh, okay.
And it's like you're trying to become the title blade, like you're trying to prove yourself and win in the tournament.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But it has dice rolling, set collection, worker placement. What's cool about this game is it has all these different stadiums or areas that you go to, and when you go there, you do whatever you're doing at the stadium, but then something else happens, like something like the boat moves around the deal, and there's something else happens every time you go to that place.
Yeah.
There's a ability, and then you also do your battle or whatever.
Right.
And then you have these badass player boards that like stand up,
Mm-hmm.
kinda, and it has the dials on them and stuff, and it's. This
Production
one was
quality
one
was
that,
out. You know.
Yeah, and it wasn't super expensive, really. I mean, considering all the overproduction, because it's overproduced.
Yeah.
I mean,
For sure.
I'm not gonna lie on that. It's you didn't have to have it with all that stuff, but you know, I was very much glad to spend whatever it was, $100 and some dollars.
Yeah, so a little over
to get
$100
the expansion too, because it had that $25 expansion that added more characters.
The $89 for the deluxe edition, which
then,
looks like it has a pretty awesome insert.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
was
It had,
gonna
it had
show
the
you that, yeah.
what do they call that company that does the inserts?
Broken Token?
No. It's the one that does the formed inserts.
Oh, I have no idea.
I'd have to look it up, but because
The arena is the
Oh.
dice tray.
Yeah.
I like that. That's cool.
It's just freaking awesome. It's
Yeah.
like everything about this game. I mean, this is just the game, like art wise and style wise. It's
Very
just pretty.
neat. Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Yep.
And they have a lot of playthroughs online.
I
You
watched
can watch,
Dice
like,
Towers.
Yeah, the Dice Tower one and stuff like that.
Yeah, I did the deluxe Kickstarter. And I think
I did the deluxe with the expansion. So it was like 20 some odd dollars.
Yeah,
extra.
I can't remember. I never remember whenever I do add-ons.
But
But I'm pretty sure I did everything. Yeah, this one was a very anticipated game for a lot of people. And he's very active on social media as well,
yeah.
which
Yeah.
I think helps.
It's the same guy as that, whatever his name was.
Dylan.
It's not Dylan.
It's Chadwick.
It's Chad.
Game Trays. That's
James.
Game Trays is the
Okay.
thing. Because they Game Trays makes these plastic like vacuum formed inserts.
Yeah.
A lot of Kickstarters using like Reavers has one now.
Okay.
And stuff, but
James
the deluxe-
Hudson.
James Hudson.
is the guy.
Yes. But anyway, this one with Title Blades, they got the Game Trays insert, which is gonna be awesome because with all the dice and all the cool components
Yeah.
and everything. And
Because what they did the same thing that Deep Madness did for their Kickstarter updates, which I never read, but I always like that they
I
do
know.
it.
Yeah, I did read about
But
it.
they're always lore based,
Mhm.
so you get more enveloped into the world. Deep Madness did the same thing,
Didn't-
but I'm like, all I care about when I get these updates is
Well,
shipping. Not in there. Cool. Then I leave it
what
alone.
stretch goal is coming up next?
Yeah. Yep. Because everything else, like, I don't sit there and be like, when the fuck am I getting my
Yeah.
game? I'm just like, oh, I'll get it whenever I get it.
Yeah. So this
If I
one,
ever
I'm
get it.
very, very excited for this one.
I have 2 Kickstarters that it's been going on like 4 years.
Really.
Yeah, since I backed it, and I almost want to email and be like, "Can I just get my money back?" But then again, I don't even remember how much I paid, so I'm like, "Well,
That's not the point. You still paid money. It's been 4
Don't you
years.
keep your surveys?
huh?
Don't you keep your surveys when you fill them out? That tell you how much you paid.
Oh yeah, I can easily look it up. I don't think it was anything. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, the game. I mean, they're doing updates, but
They're just-
oh man, they're just
Dragging their feet.
Yeah. But anyway, number 3 is Title Blades. I think it's gonna be it's in a lot of people's anticipated of 2019. My number 2 could easily be my number one. There's like a 1 and a 1B, but this one's my 1B.
All right.
So, and it's Valhalla.
Oh, you did talk about that one.
Valhalla it's a Viking dice game. The art is insane on it. Pretty much all this game is it's card drafting.
Mm-hmm.
It is dice rolling combat against other people.
Yep.
You are putting out warriors. You're fighting. Your warriors are going to die. They go into Valhalla pile, and at the end of the game, whenever you get, because there's an in-game deal. It's like I think it's there's these tokens on the top of their player boards. Once the last token is gone from one of the deal, that opens up in-game.
Okay.
And then you decide who wins by taking all those people that died. They all have Valhalla points on the cards. You count them up. Whoever had the most points in Valhalla wins the game. Fairly simplistic. There's a lot of card abilities, and there's asymmetric powers because your people you start with,
Okay.
your Vikings you start with, your main one
They have a lot
will
of
give
cool
you.
expansions.
And I went all in on it. I got everything. Not the card sleeves, I guess. I didn't do that one because
Oh, okay.
they offered just 600 card sleeves because you're getting like almost 600
Yeah.
cards. It's nuts.
Yeah.
But it is just it's just nuts. Like and again, this goes into the Vikings thing. You asked if I
Yeah.
like Vikings. Like this one though, the art is just cool. Like
I mean, it's
like the box cover to
box
me
cover is pretty cool.
is awesome. It reminds me of that Vikings TV
Yeah.
show.
But whenever
know,
whenever you're like art, I'm like, it's literally just stills of
I know,
people.
but it's
But
realistic.
it is good
you know,
artwork.
it's like
yeah.
the realism, I guess, is the stuff. But and then they have the expansion that comes in. That you get the
There is Valkyrie's expansion,
Yes.
a Dwarves expansion, Thor's support expansion,
Yeah.
and Loki's
and
deception
those are just
expansion.
cards. But then there's a box expansion for an add-on that you get. It's like Riders or something.
Oh, they have a Fenrir.
Yes,
Fenrir.
Fenrir. But another thing I love about this game, and another thing that really
Maybe I
pushes us up,
misspelled it, or
is
maybe
they
I
have
just don't know.
well, these guys are from that area, so I would assume it's.
I'm pretty sure they.
Is it F-E-N-R-I-R?
No, it's F-E-R-I-R.
These guys are from Sweden or
Oh, wow.
Finland.
They don't know how to type. Then.
They're
Anyway.
idiots.
Fucking wrong.
So, what pushed this above though is they have an incredible solo mode for this game.
Okay.
They have an entire deck of cards that you play just when you're doing solo and you're just battling like these big monsters like Fenrir and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna be awesome.
And
It's
they have a bunch of really cool expansions. Oh, did you do the legendary chest with the box?
I didn't do the wooden box one.
You piece of shit.
No, I didn't. I thought that was a little overkill.
It doesn't even seem that expensive. Oh, it's $200.
Well, it is.
It's
Oh,
$260. Never mind.
But
It's
anyway,
not expensive.
the thing with this game is they did a Kickstarter overseas
Okay.
already for it. So when they started this Kickstarter, they already had a bunch of stuff unlocked, and
Yeah.
they started this Kickstarter with all that stuff unlocked,
Oh,
and
awesome.
then built on. So there's so much crap with this game.
Did you pay $500 to become a Jarl?
No.
Okay,
Aw.
because you said there was your most expensive Kickstarter.
Oh no! This one's not my
What does
number
being
one.
a
will be my
Jarl
most
do?
expensive.
Is that okay? You literally
They make
send them
your
a
art.
picture and they
put you in the game.
Oh.
There's a
Because
few-
there's Jarls, like that'll be your own power. That's who you draw at the
And
beginning.
if I just had
Jarl.
just excess money, I would have done that and then just been like, and just do like some stupid ass face. Are you
It
sure
would've
this
been
is
a
the
picture of
one?
your butthole.
It would have been my butthole, yeah. Hey, I paid $500. I want my
They're
butthole
like, no,
picture.
really, we'll pay you another $500 to not send us a picture of your hole.
I will sue.
You said.
Anyway, yeah, I saw this one and I was like, oh, okay, that could be cool. And then I watched the video and I was like, wow, that looks boring as hell and not up my alley in any way.
Oh, really?
It's dice play strategic combat? No, thank you.
Oh.
It just, I don't know. Because I thought the same thing, but then I've watched tons of playthroughs on it. And I'm just like, man, that's gonna be. It's simple enough. It's fast enough
Right.
that
Yeah, I mean, if I had known they came with all those expansions, I would have just pulled the trigger.
yeah, because it's worth it. I mean, money wise
Yeah,
for
sure.
everything. And then
Can I late?
So anyway, Valhalla. Actually, you can. I noticed there was a button on their page when I looked at it last night that says late pledge closing now or something like that.
Cool.
So yes,
Cool.
you could.
All right, number one.
My number one is going to be a little controversial.
Is it because it's Shadows of Brimstone from
Um,
last year?
From last.
Well, no. Yes, it is Shadows of Brimstone Forbidden Fortress, but I can justify this. The majority of people getting this game have not gotten it yet. They're going to be getting it in the next 3 or 4 weeks. They put out the core set to the retail places 3 or 4 months ago.
Okay.
But the majority of the people that are doing this game did the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
We will be getting it in February.
Okay.
And it is, that's why it's my number one. I mean, Shadows of Brimstone is one of my top 5
Yep.
all time. This is the one I've spent the most money on.
Gotcha.
I did $300 for the all-in pledge, and then I added all these add-ons that pushed it to about $650.
Because you now have everything for this game, right? Or are you still missing some stuff?
I'm missing some of the heroes that you can get,
Amateur.
but there's no. Well, here's the deal though. Each hero is like $25 or something like that, and I'm like, you play this is such a long campaign,
Yeah.
and they have so many heroes already. I was like, I can get them sometime. It's
Yeah.
not a big deal.
This was fun.
I have all of the.
I
have
funded
all,
this in 2016.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah,
Pick up
all
the
the
fucking
crap you
pace.
get. All the crap you get.
Yeah, all the
with this
makeup
game.
that they have to put on to be in their live action
No, this
pictures.
this is a live
I
action.
know.
But I'm just like.
Most of their games are like them in
Like if you go
Oh,
down
yeah.
if you go down and look at the
It's always
look at the
awful.
Shogun pledge when you're looking at that and look at because it has all the pictures of everything that comes with it.
the Shogun level early
yeah,
bird.
Shogun is what is that was the old man.
So it's if you did early bird, oh, you saved $5.
Yeah.
It's like
But,
why? Why? Fuck you.
But anyway,
But you get the base game, Temple of Shadows, Kickstarter exclusive Sumo Hero class, Daimyo Hero class, 3 armored Ashigaru soldier miniatures, Sumo, and then you just get everything above that, pretty much.
yeah, I mean it's everything like and the last thing that got unlocked was the Dragon King.
Okay.
This Oriental dragon that's about 13 inches tall.
Oh wow.
Is it this one?
Yes.
That was literally on, like, as soon as I opened up, read more about this campaign, and
Yeah.
it just popped right up.
But I'm telling you, like the retail value of this stuff is well, just the base pledge, not with any add-ons,
Mm-hmm.
is well over $1,000 that I got for $300, and then the add-ons will be
Right,
jeez,
right.
so much stuff with this game.
Do they come pre-painted?
No,
No, because
Um,
that's what they're displaying.
well they were just showing because they do. That's what they.
This is what you
they do
don't
with a lot of
get.
stuff. Because every box of every enemy set you buy comes with a painting guide.
Are you kidding me? It comes with a CD soundtrack.
All the Flying Frogs games do.
Fucking,
Yeah.
it was, they come out because
You
they
had
were
one?
13 years old. I know they have the soundtrack, but it's like this came out in 2016.
I know. I know.
People
We
still
know.
Send
have
it-
CD players.
No, they don't.
People still have record players.
You can get the MP3 files down. I mean, they have
I
it
know.
and stuff, but
It's
but
just
um,
like,
yeah, it's just
We
something.
don't have one, but
It's-
people do.
It's just something that they do.
Throw it
Yeah,
away.
I never listened to them, but I'm just saying, Shadows of Brimstone. I'm gonna have to have a whole frickin' bookshelf just for that game because I have so much crap for it. The first Kickstarter, I didn't do the Kickstarter,
so you had to
For
pick
that.
it all up.
and picking it all up, I've spent about $1,500.
Yeah.
And I could have spent $400 and got the minecart. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Isn't that disgusting?
So that's why I jumped in on this one big time.
Yeah.
Even though it's feudal Japan and I don't really
Right, I'm interested
use
to
it a
see.
whole lot. But it's an other world. I'm treating it as I'm going to be starting in the Old West, and the feudal Japan is going to be my other world. Like I'll travel there
That'd
sometimes
be cool.
and stuff, or I can have have my cowboy and my bandito with my
Little
Samurai.
yeah.
Yep,
You know,
yep. They're
it's
all
just
hanging
different.
out, hiding
Yeah.
Cthulhu-like creatures.
And they're also talking about the next theme that they're going to be doing a
Oh, they're gonna
Kickstarter
do another
for. The one I hear the most is they're going to do a Victorian England and Egyptian and have the tiles.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Also-
Oh, Egyptian is probably one of my least favorites.
See, I would love
I'm not a
Egyptian
huge
with
fan
all
of
with
Egypt.
all the mythology and lore of Egypt, they
Mhm.
can make some pretty cool.
They
damn
could make some
monsters,
really
and
cool
that's fun.
monsters and minis.
But anyway,
A lot of
that's
gods.
enough talk about that. Anyways, but number 1, Shadows Brimstone Forbidden Fortress.
Awesome.
It will
Awesome.
be wonderful.
Those are his 20 games. Anticipated games of 2019. Let us know what yours are in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching this, and if you like this video, then click the subscribe button below to enjoy any video that I put out. And right next to that subscribe button is a little bell. Click that so you get notified of whenever I actually upload these videos. If you want to support the channel, you can definitely visit my Patreon page. The link is in the description below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.